everybody, welcome back to Kitchen Stuff. Welcome back to what is hopefully an interesting video. I talk about knives a lot on this channel. It's because I love knives. I love playing with knives. And hopefully you guys enjoy watching me play with knives. Otherwise, why are you here? But, like me, a lot of you are into EDC, the outdoors, tactical stuff, and we know that knives are not all of it, right? There's other stuff out there. Shocking, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into, being ready for the outdoors, having a well-rounded EDC, obviously tactical stuff. And today, I want to talk about the gear that I've carried and used that has gotten me out of more than one scrape. And not just knives, and honestly, this isn't necessarily going to be a specific video. We're not going to be talking about specific gear or items. We're going to be talking about general kind of stuff, right? So let's go ahead and get started. If you're a newbie to the EDC world, a pocket knife is a wonderful thing to have. I always carry a pocket knife with me, not always the same one. I do have different pocket knives for different things, depending on what I'm doing that day. Am I going to work? Am I going to be out in the field? Am I going home, working on the ranch? What am I doing? That will kind of depend, or that will determine what pocket knife I carry. But no matter what I'm doing, there is a pocket knife for the task. There's a pocket knife for the day, and I'm going to be very thankful I have it with me. They are so useful. Having a pocket knife with you goes a long way, maybe even more than having any other kind of tool with you. A pocket knife checks so many boxes. Obviously, you can use it to cut stuff. You cutting your lunch, you cutting your cardboard down for recycling, doesn't matter. Pocket knife can get it done. You need to pick a splinter if you don't have any tweezers or anything. Pocket knife will get it done in a pinch. I know this is going to make a lot of people cringe. You need to pry something. You need to twist a screw or something. If it's an emergency and all you have with you is a pocket knife, use it. It will do the job, right? Obviously, I don't recommend using all pocket knives as pry bars all the time, but in a pinch, you absolutely could. So just having this single tool with you could get you out of a lot of scrapes. Not to mention self-defense. We don't talk about that a whole lot on the channel here, but if you're in an ugly situation and this is what you've got, it's better than nothing, right? And of course, there are pocket knives that are built specifically for those self-defense tactical purposes. Of course, I think I would much rather go for a fixed blade in that case, but pocket knife is better than nothing. Speaking of fixed blades, we're not going to be talking about this one here. We're going to be talking about survival knives. This is a genre of knife that I absolutely love. I make sure I have a pocket knife or a survival knife with me whenever I'm going into the outdoors. As a lot of you know, I'm a geologist. I do a lot of field work. I'm outdoors a lot, but I also just love being outside. I love hunting and fishing and hiking. I'm always in the outdoors. And whenever I'm going on an adventure, I take a knife like this with me for a couple of reasons. The first is just pure utility, right? This knife, we've got a lot of blade here, a lot of sharpened edge. It's a very robust tool. If I need to, I can chop, I can baton, make a fire, make a shelter. There's a lot I can do with this. And the second thing is it's easy to carry, right? I can press this knife into machete and hatchet rolls. Is it going to do those jobs as well as a machete or a hatchet? No, it's not. But it can do them in a pinch, right? It's not going to do it as efficiently or as well, but you can get it done, right? I've said many times on the channel, if I had to choose between a gun and a knife in a survival situation, I'm taking the knife every time because I can do so much with this. Build a shelter, make a fire, obtain food. There's so much utility that you can get out of just this single tool, and it's so easy to carry around. Of course, the ideal situation is, having both a gun and a knife. Guns are great things, but if I had to choose, knife every day. But yeah, that's why I always have a survival knife with me, because it's easy to carry and you can get a lot of work done with one of these. You can basically, I've got a hatchet, a machete, and a chef's knife on me at all times. So very, very good thing to have. Cannot go without. All right, another thing that I absolutely love is having a flashlight with me all the time. Now, sorry, I know what you guys are thinking. My phone has a flashlight on it, right? We've always got flashlights with us. As anyone who knows flashlights knows, that's a bad way to think. Flashlights on phones suck. This knife here has 3 light modes. It also has a laser, which is kind of fun. Not necessarily needed, but it's fun that it has it. This thing, oh my gosh, what would I do without a flashlight? Find you a flashlight that you can carry. Find you a flashlight that works for you, one that you will have on you at all times. If there's a power outage, I've been through a lot of power outages, flashlights are great. For me, I like to go exploring mines a lot. It's always as many light sources as I can have with me. I will have them, right? Light goes a very long way. And even little stuff. You lose something under your couch, got your solution right here. Flashlights are incredibly useful. They're super versatile. And if we're talking tactical self-defense again, this here, that can be a hell of a deterrent. Shine that LED in someone's eyes as a distraction, get out of there. Again, we don't normally talk about tactical or self-defense applications on the channel, but I'm going to start mentioning some of that stuff right now. Next thing, a pencil. Always have a pencil with you. Pens are great. I carry a pen with me all the time as well. There's my pen. Pens are great, you know, legal documents, yada, yada, yada. I think pencils are better in a lot of ways. Number one, they're erasable and stuff. So, you know, you can, if you're drawing up a lot of plans, for me, I'm always doing drawing and stuff, both for work, both, you know, just for myself. You know, you have that option to erase it. But pencils will mark a lot of different things. And if you run out of ink in your pen, that kind of sucks, but you can carry, you know, extra lead with you in a pencil if needed. I love pencils. Always have a pencil with you. Pencils they've come so in handy. So in handy. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some other stuff. A lot of this stuff is things I keep with me in my geology field bag because obviously, right, this is stuff I want to have with me when I'm in the field. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a good first aid kit. Now, this here is not, well, we'll explain something. No first aid kit you buy from the store is going to be perfect, in my opinion. You're going to have to build your own first aid kit. Buy a couple different first aid kits and mesh them together into what works for you. Now, as a lot of you know, my truck was broken into recently, and the first aid kit that I have spent like 3 years building is gone, which sucks. This has been my replacement so far. I've added some stuff in here, but get yourself the essentials: Band-Aids, some gauze, moleskin, just some, you know, start with some simple stuff. That's going to go a long way. Band-Aids go a very long way, honestly. But yeah, get yourself a good first aid kit. If you need, get a trauma kit to go with it, gunshot wound kit, snake bite kit. These are things that I like to add to my kit. And I recommend having 3 first aid kits. One that you keep in your bag or something when you're going out and about. A second one to keep in your bathroom or in your house for household emergencies. And a third to keep in your vehicle for vehicular emergencies. I've got one in my vehicle right now. I've also got, here's another part of my first aid kit. Here, this has like my alcohol pads. This has my some big open wound sealers. This has got some blood clotter in it. This has got some safety pins and stuff, some razor blades. And it also has a card with my information on it. That's a very important thing to have in your first aid kit. Have a card that has not just your information, but also contacts for someone in case you get injured or in case you get killed, right? And this is something I've thought about a lot. If I ever die out in the wilderness and I was alone and someone comes across my body later, I'd want them to be able to call my family and say, hey, you know, we found, you know, what's left of him. Very important to give your, you know, loved ones closure. It's a little dark, a little bit dark there, but it's important to have that kind of stuff for any outdoor excursion. Other good things to include are like sunscreen stuff, but we're not going to talk about that. Now, speaking of building your own kits, I love tin cans like this. These things are incredible. I cannot tell you how many times one of these has come in handy. You can put all kinds of stuff in here, so you can like build a survival kit that you keep in one of these. And they come in all shapes and sizes. This is just one that I happen to have with me. I liked this one because it was so big. You can put a whole bunch of stuff in there. You can use this to carry water. There's all kinds of things you can do with a tin can. Definitely keep one with you, right? Other things to always have that might come in handy. Paracord. Paracord, paracord, paracord. I'm going to say that again in case you missed it. Paracord, okay? You can do anything with paracord. It's incredibly versatile. You can build a shelter. You can climb a mountain. You can secure a load. Paracord is just one of God's greatest gifts to man. I think that paracord came straight from an angel. It's that useful. I never go anywhere without a roll of paracord. It's snowing. Okay, we're gonna finish this up. Next, equally as useful, if not more so, arguably, than paracord, duct tape of some kind. I like T-Rex tape. This stuff is great. Duct tape is so useful, and honestly, I started really appreciating white duct tape. Why? Because you can make labels. Like if you need to write something down, if you've got a Sharpie with you and want to write something down, you can do that. But duct tape, you don't need to tell me. Every good redneck engineering project starts with duct tape. Guys, quick interruption. There are two things that I forgot to go over that I need to. These are absolute ones that have definitely saved my skin. One, portable battery packs to charge your electronics. I also have a solar-powered one. It doesn't hold charge quite as good as this one, but it's very, very nice to have. Those are, in my mind, essential. If you can have a communication tool... Sorry about that. Got rain on the camera. If you can have a communication tool and keep it charged, that's good to have. The other thing is a Swiss Army knife. I know this kind of goes under the same category as a pocket knife. That's why I didn't mention it in the first place, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what, I should probably mention it separately. Having multi-tool / Swiss Army knife, if you want to go Leatherman, that's a great way to do it too. It's very handy. You've got a lot of tools there that are just available, and you can handle a lot of everyday trials, right? Little tasks. Things come up, you can handle it with a good multi-tool or Swiss Army knife, and that's indispensable. So yeah, definitely want to mention those two. The power bank especially, those things are lifesavers. I absolutely recommend you get one. They are a must. So just want to throw those in. I cannot tell you all the things I've used duct tape for. You can use it for repairs. You can use it to just make things. You can make a watertight bag out of duct tape if you really know how to. I like duct tape when I'm out in the desert and stuff. If I get a cactus in my leg and I've got like little tiny, the little fuzzy spines in me, duct tape will take it out without me having to dick around with tweezers. Which, speaking of the first aid kit, always have tweezers. I've got a very interesting tweezer story maybe I'll tell. But duct tape. Keep duct tape with you. Keep it in your truck, keep it in your bag, keep it in your house. Same as a first aid kit. Duct tape. Next thing I want to talk about is something to start a fire. There's a couple that I use. Make sure you've got tinder with you. If you don't have anything to start a fire with, you're not going to be able to start a fire, but keep some tinder with you. I like to have things like ferro rods with strikers just because, they're a little more reusable. But I also love lighters. I carry a lighter with me in my school bag all the time. Lighters are wonderful, wonderful things. Have a way to keep a fire with you, and again, keep one in your house, one in your bag, one in your car, right? Lighters are fantastic. Keep some candles around too, but we're getting more into like survival stuff with that, but definitely useful tools. Talking about some more like vehicular related things, a trench shovel. Keep a trench shovel with you. Now this one here, this is a kind of a cheap little crappy one. This thing's not much, but you can see I've beat the heck out of this. And again, if you go in the outdoors a lot, like I've got my truck stuck a lot, you need a shovel to dig yourself out of there. You can use a shovel to dig a shelter. You can use a shovel for anything. Shovels are just wonderful, wonderful tools to have. I love having a shovel with me. And the last thing we're going to talk about, something to keep in your vehicle, is a tarp. Now this one, you can see this is all dusty and stuff, but I have not opened this tarp yet. Keep a tarp with you. Use it to cover a load if you need to. Use it to build yourself a shelter. Tarps are incredibly, incredibly handy to have. Now, those are some of the things I want to talk about, and all of these items that I've discussed here, I have used in one way or another to get myself out of a tight spot. And I could tell all kinds of stories, but we'd be here forever. So I'm going to tell just one story that uses a couple of things that we talked about. I do a lot of driving, right? And about a year ago, I broke down in the middle of nowhere. And it was getting to be late at night, and I knew that there was no one going to be able to come out and get me right now. I had no service or anything. It was a mess. So what did I do? I decided I was going to have to spend the night. So I need to build a shelter. I made a shelter with paracord and a tarp. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic. How cool is this? I chopped a couple of sticks I found on the side of the road, made a little bit of an A-frame. In fact, I'm not putting this on the list, but I always carry a nice big pole in the back of my truck for use on things like that. I made this little shelter. You know, I had this idea in my head. I was like so proud of it. My tarp was full of holes, kind of defeating the purpose of the shelter, right? So I took out my duct tape and I fixed that sucker up, and I slept beautifully that night. Beautifully. It was the best sleep I've ever had in my life. Not really, but it was nice. And so stuff like that, it happens, right? Life happens.
So, in a shocking plot twist and a bout of irony, heading home after recording the video that you just watched, I broke down near Santa Fe. Luckily, I've got someone coming to pick me up, but yeah, what a turn of events, huh? So here I am talking about breaking down in this video, and I broke down. My truck's been having problems with the cooling system. I thought I fixed it with some K-Seal and stuff, but I think there's something else going on. I just overheated and I'm not going to make it the final stretch of the way. It held up really well for everything I did with it today, but just kaput on me, so I'm going to have to get that fixed. And but yeah, got the truck turned off. It's 25 degrees outside. It's getting cold in here, so I'm wrapped up in a blanket. Hip hip hooray. I've got to sit here and wait about an hour and a half for people to come pick me up. Luckily, I've got a little juice on my laptop. I'm going to finish watching Loki Season 2. Haven't been keeping up with it because I've been too busy with school and stuff, but hey, I guess I got a prime opportunity right now.
And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I kind of mentioned this little issue here. See that in my thumb? It's a cactus spine. Let me tell you this story. This happened yesterday. And this is kind of one of the things that got me thinking about this video. So yesterday I was out doing some field work, me and a buddy, and I took a little tumble down the hill. Scuffed up my leg pretty bad, bruised my back, but then my hand kind of landed on this cactus and a big spine went into my thumb and snapped off in my thumb. Now I thought, no biggie, went to my bag, and remember how I talked about my stuff being stolen? I had this beautiful set of tweezers. Beautiful, beautiful set of tweezers. I had some that had the curved nose, I had some needle nose ones. Just any, I think there was 5 of them. And they were beautiful, high-quality tweezers. I'm always set for tweezers. Those are gone, and I hadn't replaced them yet. But I was like, that's okay. I'll use my Swiss Army knife. My Swiss Army knife doesn't have tweezers on it. The multi-tool I had that did have tweezers on it was also stolen with that backpack. And so all I had was tweezers that came in that little first aid kit I showed you there, and they're like the plasticky one. Terrible, terrible tweezers. So the tweezers were no help. So I took a safety pin, which I had, and I tried digging that splinter out, and I couldn't do it one-handed, so I had my buddy try. And he tried and tried. He couldn't get it out. It's barbed, so it's like, it's really in there. And then there was just this tiny little bit sticking out the top, and that broke off. And so we're like, you know what, it's fine. I'll get it out later. So after I get out of the field, I go, and this morning I had the the girlfriend of one of my friends try and get it out. She couldn't. Luckily, because now it's like really far in there, the skin's grown over. Yeah. Luckily, I'm headed home right now for Thanksgiving, and my dad, he's a veterinarian, he's an expert getting stuff like this out, so I'm going to have him operate on me and get that out of there. But I wanted to bring this up because that was the price I paid for not having the proper equipment with me when I needed it. This is a bad splinter. It's a really bad splinter. Let's see if you can see that. It is in there pretty deep, and it's a barbed cactus spine, so it wasn't going to be pretty to pull out in the first place. But if I'd had a good pair of tweezers, even though there was just the tiniest bit sticking out when it first happened, I would have been able to grab that and rip it out of there. Because I didn't have those tweezers, I started jamming around in there one-handed with the safety pin, and I couldn't get the right angle. My buddy, he tried pushing, on it, trying to push it out of the skin a little bit more. It's barbed, it didn't come out. He tried digging out with the safety pin, couldn't get it. Friend's girlfriend couldn't get it. This is what happens when you don't have what you need. And I never want to be in that situation. It sucks. Just have the tools you need. Be prepared, right? Be a good scout. Be prepared. But there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I want to hear, some stuff that you like to kind of carry around with you. I tried to make this video a little bit broad, stuff like backpack, personal EDC stuff as well, stuff to keep in my truck. Obviously, there might be people talking about, a gun, a handgun. I agree. Self-defense guns, great things to have with you. Those will definitely get you out of a scrape. I didn't include it here because not everyone can carry a gun, right? I know personally, a lot of the places that I'm at, I cannot carry a gun. Again, I work in academia a lot. A lot of the places I go to, I cannot have a gun. And so I have to look for alternatives. So definitely add a firearm to the list if you feel like it. I would definitely agree with you, hands on. In fact, right now I've got a gun in my truck, but that's that. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I inspired you to start carrying some stuff if you haven't already. I'm sure a lot of you are on board with this the whole way through, though. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one.